Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing the Mercedes-AMG GT 63. Before we get in this video, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Salt Lake for giving me some time with this car. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And big news, this particular GT is still available for sale if you happen to be interested. If you have any questions, just ask for Dylan, and then I'll also include a link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 13 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 577 horsepower and then 590 pound-feet of torque. And I know that the engine cover is massive, but if you actually look in and see where the engine actually starts, it's got that front mid-engine design because you can see where the wheel is. It's pretty cool. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, just like past GTs, it is absolutely enormous, and you can see the body lines there really pop with this matte paint. Now, popping down below, really cool looking headlight design here. Love what the indicator looks like. And then you can see this little portion, I like how that kind of drops off to the side. Got the AMG logo there. You can see with the Mercedes-Benz logo. And then notice the grille is vertical with all the slats and everything. It's like an AMG design cue. But yeah, putting it all together, this new GT, it looks like kind of more futuristic but still aggressive. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 295/30/21 in the front and then 305/30/21 in the rear. And I love the coloration on these wheels, especially in contrast to the matte blue paint on this particular car. Now the yellow it does create some very interesting contrast with everything that's going on. But yeah, look at the size of those rotors, pretty crazy. Got the AMG logo there as well. And then look at how the fender pops out. We've got the V8 bi-turbo 4MATIC badge. Yes, this is 4MATIC. Nice, you could drive it in all 4 seasons. And you can see with the side skirt there, notice mirror cap blacked out. And then taking a few steps back, look at that. It's like that iconic, beautiful sports car design, even though I'd call this more of a supercar than a sports car at this point. And here's the key fob. So we've got the AMG logo there, lock and unlock opening for the trunk, another AMG logo on the back, just Mercedes nicer key fob, and pop her open. So just like the 4-door GT, this is actually a hatchback. So first off, look how deep that goes. That is actually super spacious for a cargo area in, again, what I would say is more of a supercar. That's cool. But yeah, that's actually super practical, and it's fully automated, so press that and boom, it'll pop right down. Now look at this new taillight design. Really sharp looking, kind of reminds me of Ferrari a little bit with the what is it, the Roma, I think, just with how like sleek that is. And you can see with the badging here on the back, and I like how it's connected there in the center with all that really aggressive exhaust tips here at the bottom. You can see the whole diffuser set up. But yeah, overall, this is a beautiful car. But let me know what you guys think about the looks. Now this leads us to the door panel. Of course, frameless windows because, you know, supercar, right? But this is really cool with the yellow stitching that goes across. And then down below with the Alcantara. I like how that's kind of designed. And then we've got all of our carbon fiber trim there. Mirror adjustments, heated seats, got every seat adjustments, memory seat function too. Speaker for the sound system is pretty cool looking. And then look at the front seat. The stitching, got the AMG logo, yellow seat belt too. Yellow and blue with this one. But yeah, that's super aggressive with the design. It's like a bucket type seat. And then you've got pedal layout down below, light controls just up above. And then look at the dash design. It's very kind of like cockpit-esque, especially where the gauge cluster is located. We'll look at that in a second, but there you go. Now, some of you might be wondering the weight on this car with the 4MATIC and everything. So the gross vehicle weight rating is 4762. Payload capacity is 309. To find the vehicle weight, curb weight, you just subtract the payload from the gross vehicle weight rating. So this weighs, you know, over 4,400 pounds. And the this leads us to the steering wheel. Very sporty with the design. So first off, AMG logo at the bottom. I like this trim here. You can see with the stitching, and then Alcantara here on the side. Now it's got like a drive mode select on the steering wheel. And you can see here to adjust different items with the steering wheel, which is pretty cool. Bunch of practical controls here. So for like the center, your adaptive cruise control. Yes, it does have adaptive cruise control. Controls there for the infotainment system, volume controls, all of that. And then you have your regular stocks here on the back. So you can see column shifter too. Now I've got Mercedes full digital gauge cluster here, and I feel like that design's not quite aggressive enough for this one. I mean, Sport could work pretty well for this car, but we could also do the Super Sport. That's another cool one. I think Sport's the best theme. Let me know what you guys think on this one, but very customizable. Now this comes with a 360 camera system, which is really nice for a car like this, low to the ground and very expensive. So it's good being able to see all around. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, very similar to what you have in the Mercedes S-Class. So Mercedes has a few different infotainment systems. This is what I'll call the S-Class one because that's the first car that I saw with this system. So you basically have some shortcut buttons here at the bottom, and then a lot of stuff's controlled in the screen. So for example, if I go to the comfort tab, you can see seat kinetics, all of that. Ambient lighting is controlled there as well. But if I press that AMG button, this is where the drive modes will pop up that we can go through. And I like how we have like a couple modes for like basically comfort, and then you've got like individual and bad road modes, and then you have a bunch of different sport driving modes. I think that's kind of cool, just with all the different driving modes you have there with the sporty stuff. It's fun. Now we've got some storage down below, cup holders. You've got wireless phone charging pad in here, USBs, all of that, and then of course nice trim here. I like how this is like piano black, but then it's surrounded by carbon fiber, and then of course you've got your wrist rest, which this one's kind of pointless because I mean I can reach here, but I don't know, unless there's another use for it that I don't understand, but it seems like that's what it would be used for. Anyways, center console, and I like the trim on this throughout, and it's also on the side. I don't know if you can kind of see in there. Yeah. Anyways, glove box, pretty normal, and it's got more of that Alcantara. You can see the stitching that goes across, and then look at that dash design with the stitching that separates the vents. I think that's pretty cool. And then this actually comes with a sunroof. So here's a quick look at the window sticker for this GT63. You can see all the standard equipment on it. There's your base MSRP, $175,900. We've got a few options on this. So those fancy wheels, $4,000 for that. It also has the front axle lift system as well. Quite a bit more. Anyways, total MSRP, $204,110. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Hope you can see the heads-up display. Both mirrors. They do have blind spot ring. And throw through rear. I guess I forgot to go over this. This is like a storage shelf back here. So you got like nice trim stitching all across, and then I don't know if you can see very well in the GoPro, but good storage shelf. So this is extremely practical for a supercar. I would say, because I mean, you look at most like I don't know, Audi R8, I just reviewed one of those. Barely any storage behind the seats, and you've got a little frunk, and then you have no storage in the back area because the engine, it's a V10 back there, so it's taken up all of the space. So yeah, super practical for a supercar. Now it's gonna take me a minute to go to the parking lot because this car is so low to the ground. I don't want to take it through the normal driveway that I usually go out of. I'm going to go through a different, I'm on the wrong tab. There we go, that's the tab. I'm gonna go out of a different driveway that's a little bit less of a steep incline, just to play it safe. Don't want to scrape the front end of a $204,000 car. Okay, well, let's test this out. So raise level. Do I stop to make it go faster? Oh, it's just slow. That's pretty slow. It's a nice feature to have, of course, but that was a pretty long time. Gives me the clearance though. Still always recommend taking it slow, but not bad. And then we can just lower that now. Should have maybe adjusted my mirrors before I... There we go. So it's... I would call this definite, like this is why I say this is a supercar. The ride quality is definitely not what I would call GT, if that makes sense. You can hear like everything that's happening, and it's not rough, it's just firm. It's a firm ride. So it's definitely more supercar, sports car than it is grand touring car. But the seats are firm too, so it's a focused car. Perhaps this is why they do the 4-door GT, for people that want more practicality, more comfort, all of that. So we'll get a little acceleration here. Yeah, it's got crazy power. Again, I'm gonna take it very, very easy. No, most boring review on a supercar ever. But basically, AMG GT63. Beautiful on the exterior. I think this interior is beautiful as well. It drives like a supercar though. So like, I think some people might look at this and they'd be like, oh, it's a grand tour. And you could daily drive this. Again, it's got 4MATIC. It's got a really nice interior. It's got a bunch of creature comforts. But I probably wouldn't. This would probably be like a, you know, secondary car, basically, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the new 63. Sorry about the video being boring, but I would rather be safe than sorry when it comes to a car that is as expensive as this is.